Hello guys, today we will install a rough country 2 inches leveling kit on my Ford F150, so let's jump to it right after this message. Our RickStuff Store is finally open, so go on spreadshirt.ca today to save as much as 15% on your RickStuff gear and accessories. Type RickStuff in the search bar and you will be redirected directly on our store page, where you'll find everything you need, whether it is for man, woman, kids, or even dog accessories. It's spacers that you put on the top of your strut, so it basically lifts your truck from that thickness, which is in this case 2 inches. They're obviously the two spacer, the hardware that come with the kit, and the instruction in the box. It's pretty simple to install, but you need to remove certain parts on the truck, and the way to achieve it, you need to drop the lower tab. Basically remove the ball joint, not remove the ball joint, but unscrew the spindle from the ball joint on top so you can lower all this thing down, as well as the stabilizer bar so you can lower your tab enough to remove the strut so you can install those things on top. Let's jump to it right away. It doesn't really matter which part you start to loosen first, but it is very important to remove the hose or the support of the hose before dropping the spindle, because you will stretch the hose and the cables, or you might even break them. There is a vacuum, there is the hose for the caliper, and there is a cable, an electric cable for the ABS sensors. So I decide to start by removing the hose from the spindle so I don't damage anything. After that, I remove the caliper and the brake pads. And now I'm removing or unscrewing the tie rod end. It was pretty stuck, so I needed to hit it with the sledgehammer on a way to remove it. But keep in mind that if you need to hit the top of a bolt or a ball joint or anything, you need to leave the nuts there so you don't hit directly into the bolt, because you will ruin the thread. And after the tie rod end was removed, I am loosening the stabilizer arm, and you don't need to completely remove the stabilizer arm, just loosening it enough so the tab can lower enough for the strut to get out. And now I'm obviously loosening the top of the strut, and now it's the turn of the upper ball joint. Everything was pretty stuck, so you better, if you do that, put penetrating oil on every part you're planning to loose or to remove, because you will have trouble removing your parts. And when you're ready to drop the upper ball joint, you better let the nuts on until it drops, so you don't hurt yourself if it's dropping too fast, or you don't break anything either. Now that all is loose, I'm removing the lower bolt of the strut, but you can do that whenever you're ready, since the strut is pretty stuck there and there's no danger that it will go anywhere even if you remove the bolts earlier. As you can see here, I forgot to tie up my spindle and it's hanging up only by the ABS sensor cable. I've been very lucky not to damage anything. So don't do the same mistake that I did and tie up your spindle before lowering up everything, so you will be sure you won't damage anything. And after the strut is out of there, it's only a matter of cleaning the top, installing the spacer, and putting everything back together. I don't know about the other companies, but Rough Country have pretty clear instruction regarding the installation of these spacers. I forgot to mention that you need to remove the bolt at the end of the axle because it won't get out of the spindle and you won't be able to lower the tab low enough to remove the strut. I suggest not to tighten the top bolt just yet, so it will be easier to put back the strut in its hole in the lower tab. You might have some trouble putting back the strut in the lower tab because it obviously 2 inches longer, and I must say I was very happy not to add installed 3-inch spacers because I would have worked way harder to put it back together. After the strut is in its place, it's just a matter of putting everything back together on the opposite way you did when you remove everything. Obviously, now that the tie rod and joint, the ball joint and the stabilizer bar are loose, you will have a little more trouble to put it back. You will need to hold the tip with a ratchet with a box 10mm so you can screw the nut at its place. As you can see, I put the jack under the spindle so it rises everything up, and it's easier this way to put back the ball joint in the hole of the spindle. So with a good pry bar, you should not have any trouble put back the ball joint in the hole of the spindle. It is now time to tighten every bolt or every joint you loosen or you removed when you uninstalled everything. And it's always better to double check and even triple check every bolt before installing the tire and dropping the truck on the ground. Now I'm tightening up the stabilizer bar. And now I'm getting ready to tighten the bottom mount of the strut. It looked like there's no much space, but when you remove the rubber flap, there is plenty of room to work on the top of the strut. Hey guys, it's finally done. The front is 2 inches higher. It was a big job, and as you saw, I almost finished in the dark, but the reason is, as you know, I bought the truck about 1.5 months ago, and the lug nut were so tight it took me an hour to remove both wheels. I needed to heat up 4 nuts on the way to remove them. My impact was not able to unscrew that, so I need to heat them up. And I also lost a lot of time because I believe the brake pad were putting in place with a hammer, because I needed a hammer to remove them. And even if they're brand new pads, because the man before haven't replaced the rotors, the pads are gone. I will do a proper job brake on the truck soon, but in the meantime I needed a pad to move freely, reason why I grinded and I grease the support so I have proper brake on the truck. And it's the reason why I finished so late. I lost about 2 hours just for those 2 things. And as you saw, I did the job without any lift, without any special tools. So I did it in my driveway with tools that you can find everywhere. And the test drive was good. Obviously, I will need to do an alignment. But yeah, just by standing beside the truck, I already know that it's a little higher because I will have a little more trouble checking the oil, the engine oil now, but it's not a big deal. So if you have any question, please post them in the comment section below and I will answer to them as soon as possible. So this is it for today. Please like the video and subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to hit the little bell so you will be notified as soon as I will release the new video. So on this, I wish everybody a great day and see you later.